Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Thought I'd give you all just a little garden update. As you see, my broccoli has grew really good. My onions are growing really good. My potatoes, my corn is doing okay. I planted it a little thin, a little sporadic as the saying goes, and I kind of probably messed up by that because not every seed's going to come up, and if I planted it thicker I could have thinned it out, but we may have to go back in and do some replanting. I was able to get these 2 rows completely cleaned out the other night. I was able to till up my corn, and my beans are really spotty too, and I do need to till those down there. So if you see the rougher part of the garden, just kind of ignore that. But when you till and clean up weeds out of a garden, it takes some time. So when you work a full-time job, especially with school not being out yet, it's kind of hard to keep up with everything and do everything else you want to do too. So as you see here with this broccoli, you may think that you just get a head of broccoli and then it's over with, but that's not the case. You can actually pick your head of broccoli and you can get those little florets, I guess they're called, those little sprouts. They're fine to eat too, but I've got an issue. There's a little worm that you'll see inside the broccoli that wants to kind of put a hurting on the leaves. It doesn't really hurt the broccoli as much, but they do like the leaves. And my potatoes are coming up really good. My onions are doing pretty good too. I'll take y'all down here and show you the carrots. So I thinned out the carrots probably about 3 or 4 inches apart. I dug one up the other night on accident and it was about the size of my pinky. So they're growing pretty good. We've got some cauliflower over there and we've got some cabbage. Now you may notice some tobacco sticks, especially in this garden and down here too. And you may be wondering where'd they come from, what are they? They're not just wood stakes, they're tobacco sticks. So I'll go ahead and throw in some footage now of me going down and getting them. You may be wondering why we don't have tobacco sticks ourselves. Well, we had a big tobacco barn where our barn is today, and we burned it down when I was probably, I don't know, 16 or 17. And I didn't really plan on using any tobacco sticks, so what sticks were in there, they just got burned up. But you kind of need them, you know, throughout life when you want to do gardening projects. Which, when I was 17, that was probably the last thing on my mind was gardening. So, but my neighbor's been gracious enough to let us have some, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get some. So big shout out to him. You know, I brought a strap, but who needs straps anyways? We ain't going too far. Man, it's just such a nice evening. Even though it rained today, it's such a nice evening. My neighbor that I got the tobacco sticks off of has some of the prettiest hay in this whole area. It's super thick. He fertilized early and worked out pretty good for him. Man, I'm telling you, people that live in subdivisions, people live in cities, I guess you just grow up and get used to it, but I don't know. It'd be really tough to get used to it after living out here, if that makes sense. I'm sure there's a lot of people on my channel that probably feel the same way about where they live too. Well, the hay is already ready to be cut. Last fall, we went through and we drilled this upper part really heavy. And you guys can look out through there. That's probably some of the prettiest hay that I've ever raised. It's super nice, super thick, a good mix of fescue and orchard grass. These have passed since that video. And in this time past, I have ended up tilling up this garden. My beans, corn, everything's coming up really good in this garden, which I did plant it a little bit thicker. I ended up having a couple old cattle panels from when I had bottle calves. So what I done, I took 3 T-posts and I ended up tying that cattle panel to it, and that's where we're going to work with our cucumbers. And then I went ahead and I drove those tobacco sticks in the ground pretty good, and we're going to try to maybe do a Florida weave. So if you don't know what that is, I'm going to try my best to show it to you. So the first thing we need to do is probably make a pretty good size hole to put these cucumbers in. Still have plenty of moisture in the ground. Now, cucumbers are naturally a vining plant, So they will crawl and they will climb on things because of these little, I guess they're called, I know on watermelon they're called tendrils, but I'm assuming they're probably called the same thing on cucumbers as well. But yeah, these are some I've started in some cups, so we're going to see if we can get these planted and see if we can figure out a way to wrap them on this cattle panel. Definitely anytime you transplant something, whether it be cucumber, whether it be watermelon, tomatoes, they definitely need a good drink of water when you get done transplanting them. Now, I don't really know the best way to do this. Kind of was letting them grow just long enough that they could kind of get a little string and the rest would probably take care of it. So maybe we could just do something like that. So the peppers and the tomatoes are looking really good. They could probably stand their first dose of Miracle Grow. A couple of them are a little runny, but it's just part of it anytime you grow something. So like I said, I went ahead and I drove these Tobaca Sticks, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 inches in the ground. Now what we're going to do something called the Florida weave. Now I've never done this before, I've just watched some YouTube videos. Apparently what you do, you end up weaving these things back and forth with nylon string, and that helps support them as they grow. But I'm going to teach you and maybe show you some things that I've watched on some videos that'll maybe help your gardening go a little easier. Okay, so we got that part done, Florida weaving the tomatoes, and I've learned a few things. The straighter the plants are, the better off you'll be. I also learned that if you can keep it going for a pretty long distance, it's always better to keep it going. Now you may see these little plants here. The only issue that I'm going to have is if it grows up, I'll have to keep an eye on it, and when it gets tall enough to pull against that, it needs to be pulled. Same with this one. So basically what it is one side of the string needs to be on one side of the plant and then one side on the other. Maybe, just maybe, I can pull this down right here and it'll help these little plants get started. But now that we've got it kind of figured out, I'm going to go ahead and show you on these pepper plants up here. I figured if it would work for tomatoes, it would work on peppers too. Some of the tools you'll need is a piece of PVC or conduit, something like that, some nylon string, and some way of cutting your string. Now if this doesn't take me 15 hours to do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to thread this string down this pipe. May need to insert Jeopardy music here. Wah, 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 wah. Okay, so we've got this come through here. What we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and tie us a simple knot down here. Now these peppers are going to be a little shorter than these tomatoes, so we need to, of course, adjust accordingly. Just a simple double knot there, over and under. So now you take your string, leave enough slack in it up here that you won't be tugging and pulling, and you go on this side of the plant, and then you go on this side. So I know it helps with the plants, you know, being in a correct line, but I hope that you see how it's going. So basically you alternate. So where this one was on the back side, now this pipe is going to be, or this string is going to be on the front side. That's all right. And you can run it around that a couple times if you want to. Don't hurt anything. Just kind of keep it tight. So that one was on the back. So this needs to be on the front. It's a pretty simple method once you get it down pat, but it just takes, it's like anything, just needs some practice. And when you get out here to the end, just loop it around a couple times. And start it all over, but this time just do the opposite. So there we go. That's how you do the Florida weave, or so I've been told. Once again, I know there's probably going to be some people comment and be like, man, this is like watching a comedy show. but you never learn how to do something until you go ahead and try it. So if you guys are interested in this, that's a pretty simple how-to. A lot of you guys may have never heard of how to do that, but keep up with it. Keep up with the channel, and we're going to see how well our tomatoes and peppers do being tied up this way. Also, another thing, let's keep up with the cattle panel cucumbers. We'll see how they do. Hopefully they do all right. And like I said, we do have some backups just in case those plants don't make it. So I hope you guys enjoy the channel. Hope you guys enjoy the gardening tips. I'm learning right there with you guys. So I hope y'all have a blessed day. Thanks for watching.